between the knees.
There we go.
I'm setting up.
Hello, hello. Christina, hilarious as always.
Yes.
Welcome, everyone. Welcome. As people
It's
start
so
to come
cute.
in, I would love it if you would tell me where you are Zooming from. Just put it in the chat so we can see where our whole community is building from. I am.
Can you hear this okay, Mom?
And also, if you maybe for the next few minutes, maybe for the next bit until we start like having conversations, if you can mute your mics so that we don't hear anything from the background, that would be great. And then if you have anything to say, I don't have any problem with you jumping in and unmuting, or you can raise your hand, or you can put a comment in the comment section. We've got Kristen here is helping me out as a co-host and a moderator. So if you need anything, she will be there to help out. It's good to see everyone. Okay, so we've got South Texas, Frisco, Wisconsin, Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Ottawa, Canada, Vancouver, New Brunswick, Canada. A lot of Canadians here. Thank you for still speaking to us Americans. Central Wisconsin, Albany, Edgewater, New Jersey, Hudson, New Hampshire, Bloomington, Indiana, Memphis, Denver, Ohio, Florida. Amazing. Amazing. Oh, it's so good. It's so good to see everyone. Arvada, Colorado, that is where I'm from originally. All of the things. So good to see you. So I am Vicki Howell. I am a designer and a host and a veteran of the industry. I've been in it since God was a child. But most of all, I consider myself sort of like a head cheerleader, a community builder. I really obviously am passionate about being creative, but I'm equally as passionate about human connection. And I think that knitting and crochet and fiber crafts are a gift for connecting us to one another. Look at all of us here today. We would never be in the same space probably under any other
Amazing.
circumstances. And we are all different types of people from all different places with all different backgrounds. And that to me is a incredible gift of networking and eye-opening to other people's circumstances and resources. And so that is sort of the backbone of everything that I do. So first of all, thank you to everyone for coming off the Ravelries and the Facebooks and the Instagrams and all the social medias, the public social media that we all depend highly on, to come over here. I know it's hard to have another login, another app, another place to be, but I really appreciate you coming over to Stitchwell Social Club to be a part of this Moodring make-along. I started, I'll talk about Stitchwell Social Club a little bit later so you have some context, but right now, all I wanted to say is that I started Stitchwell for a couple of reasons. I was starting to feel like it was getting so noisy on all the places that I had built community for 20 years. So many, I wasn't seeing the people that I was following. I was seeing companies that I wasn't interested in. There is a lot of vitriol because there's sort of this, internet blindness where people say things that they wouldn't normally say. And it was just becoming a space that wasn't, frankly, bringing me joy anymore. And when you're somebody that is trying to empower people through creativity, if you feel like you're being beaten down a lot, it doesn't work well. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to create a space. I feel like right now, in this space and time that we're at right now, and always changing, it's really going to become more about groups, about sort of huddling in, finding your people, finding your pockets of happiness and peace and joy, and taking some time to shut out all the noise. It doesn't mean bury your head in the ground. It means take a minute, because when we have our time for ourselves, intermingling with all of this is the latest thing on the news, this is what somebody's opinion is, this is what they're trying to sell you, this, there actually is no peace. Like they can't coexist at the same time. And so I wanted a space that would nurture that, that was smaller, that people were only there if they wanted to be there. I have a membership for the actual Stitchwell Social Club, and I do that for a couple reasons. One, there are very few jobs in the yarn industry right now, and things are rough in a lot of industries. But so one, towards trying to make a living for myself, but two, people are more, people value more what they pay a little bit for. It doesn't have to be a lot. It's not a lot. It's $12 a month. But they behave better, they're more involved, and they value it more. And so that those combined have brought together so far a couple hundred people that have been nothing but caring and respectful and delightful and creative around each other. So next, I decided to start this room, this free space, this free event, because there was something that I'd been sitting on for a long time that I wanted to do, and I really felt like I wanted to open it up and make it accessible for everyone, because I know I'm not the only one that has, been out of work for a long time or consistent work. I know that I'm not the only one that is watching things and waiting and might be a little afraid. And so I wanted to start this space, and I wanted to start this project. So this is a mental health temperature blanket, as you probably know if you showed up. When I pitched this idea to the Stitchwell Council, which just is a very small council, about 20 or so people, as an idea, and that's something else, if you're interested in, you can message me, because that's another thing you could be a part of if you wanted to be a board member. When I pitched this idea of doing a mental health temperature blanket, it was kind of like, yeah, that would be cool. I mean, I got kind of semi-positive, but it was a very small sampling. But it was something that was really sitting with me, because I see and feel what's going on right now. And I also think that we live in the society that we have so much coming at us. And a lot of it is about what's going on in the physical. Like, here's a diet, lose weight. I'm a middle-aged woman, so all of like, if you click on one thing, then it's suddenly like, look younger, be like, be thinner, lift up your boobs higher, whatever it is. And so it wears on us. It wears on our emotions, but we don't talk a lot about those. We are now in a space where we have a term, mental health. For those of us that are Gen X and older, millennials sort of like half and half, depending on where you fall, didn't even have that word growing up and so this is the beginning. This is the beginning of seeing ourselves and talking about the whole us. So it's not an easy thing for a lot of people, because it hasn't been nurtured for most of our lives. And I wanted to try and find a way to be able to give a really positive way to think about your mental health, talk about it if you want to, don't talk about it if you don't want to. But in that same way that has brought us all here together, whether you're live with me right now or you're watching later, it was yarn, right? It was this craft, it was knitting, it was crochet. In that same way, we can utilize that tool, that magic, to open up our worlds in another way. So my intention with this, and I'm going to use those words a lot and they sound a little woo-woo, but my point is that you take from this whatever serves you, tap out for whatever doesn't. It should be whatever you want and need it to be. That's it. My intention is that I'm hoping to give you the opportunity to actually schedule a little creative time for yourself, hopefully every day, but life happens, it may not happen. Even if it's only a few minutes, if it's something that's scheduled, it's more likely to happen, at least for me. So that's one. The other thing is like, I don't know about you, but every night I'm not thinking, how was I feeling today? Okay, do we need to do that? Maybe, but if we can see patterns, if we can have these conversations with ourselves, if we can think about it, then we can work on whatever we need to work on, observe whatever we need to observe. If we need to get help for anything, we have this record that we can share with therapists or with coaches or with doctors or whatever in a way that we've had for physical health for a long time. Like there's an app for that, right? And so this way, use it as a tool, don't use that as a tool, use it as something pretty, don't use it as something pretty. Whatever you want to get out of it, I hope you get out of this next 90 days or so. So this is going to go through the 26th of September, just because I wanted it to be a solid 90 days. I'm going to take you through the PDF. Hopefully everybody saw the post with the PDF that has all of the things in it. If you did not, it is posted in the group, but if you can't find it, we will also share the link in the chat as well. And this will give you, okay, Kristen has just shared it in the chat. So all of the videos and the patterns are now available. I'm going to share them. I want to go through them with you a little bit so I can kind of explain like how you may or may not use them, and then we'll go from there. So give me 1 second. Okay. All right. So it's going to look like this. Blah, 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 blah. You got one of these. If you printed out the welcome packet, you already got one of these, but I included it again in case you wanted to do another one. So this is what we're working off for our palettes. You will have 6 colors. Some of you chose one of the palettes that I put together with Pearl Soho, Cotton Chirp. Some of you have dove into your stash. Some of you have found, other cottons, whatever. It doesn't matter. You choose your colors and then you assign them to one of these emotions. And then you can add the color to your key. And so then you know. So I did mention this before in a video, but I just wanted to sort of revisit it just in case, somebody missed it or doesn't really get it, because, again, this is a little new for a lot of us. So these are the 6 core emotions, according to Dr. Gloria Wilcox, that created something called the feeling wheel, which is much bigger than this, much bigger than this. And it's widely accepted within the mental health space. I found it through my training. I am not a therapist. I am not licensed. I am not a psychologist. I don't have credentials in that way. So I need to start there. But I was trained as a crisis counselor for youth, for Trevor Project. And part of that was this wheel. And the purpose of it is that if you see all of this, I'm talking to a kid usually, whatever they're throwing at you, and it might be ragey, it might be frustration, it might be, you don't know. If you can get down to what the core is, then you know where to work from. And so Dr. Wilcox believed that there were these 6 core emotions, and from that, everything is sort of like there's an umbrella for it. It's their branches. And so I chose these, well, obviously because we're not going to have 7,000 colors, but also this is a way that if you would like, you can have a little anonymity, because these are very vague and they're very, they're pretty benign. Like you probably wouldn't be embarrassed for most of them, maybe a little bit for scared. That might be a little bit more vulnerable, but they're pretty benign. And so you can share that or not, but only you will know what the actual emotion was. And so I put them in this umbrella thing that I created for what the other emotions under them are. And so that you can see all of what that would capture. And so you can use this as a guide if you'd like, again, whatever serves you. But then if you are having a day where you are feeling scared, but you don't want to tell people that you maybe aren't comfortable saying it was because you feel rejected or because you feel, lesser than, insignificant or whatever, if that feels too vulnerable, you'll know, but you can just translate it into your Rapgan as scared. And if you'd like, you can also log. So I've created mood logs for all 90 days. Not everybody will need them. I'll talk about that in a second. Need all 90 days, depending on which stitch pattern you're choosing. It'll take different days because of math. But I put these here so that you can make your own notes if you want. So and I didn't put dates because you can have this, start now and work every day for the next 90 days. Or if you're watching this later and you're late to the party, you can start it then. Or if you start on day one, but you don't get back to it and you forgot to log in whatever for a couple of days, your day two can be then, that's fine too. Or you can add dates, it's really up to you. But the other reason that I created this is that there will be days that you do not have time to do this. And so if you can just jot down on that day, even if you just want to write happy or joyous, whatever it is, on that day, just as a note, so that you can go back and if you catch up, you can write it. But there's also, you might notice that there's a lot of space there. So if you want to write mad and then underneath that, a sentence or two, like this happened or that happened or whatever, just for your own self, nobody else needs to see it. I invite you to do that too. And so it's a way to sort of journal without writing a ton, taking a ton of time, and it's also just another tool. So there's enough of those for you to print out for all 90 days if you like. Then obviously, like, you know all this already, the finished measurements. There's a link to abbreviations. Everything is linked to from the PDF that you have. And then we go into the stitches. So I want to talk just a little bit about, I saw on the boards that some of you still had not chosen, and I totally get it because I've been waffling back and forth, but I made my decision based on my own personal time. So I thought I would talk a little bit about that a little bit. So this first pattern is the broken rib. It is only 2 rows. And because one of the rows involves knit stitches, it has a little bit more height than its garter stitch sister that you'll see next. So this one out of the 2 knit will take the least amount of repeats. It's not much different than the other, but the least amount of repeats for it to be per day. So I've broken them down to, you'll see at the very bottom of this, for this one, it worked out to 84 days and you work 6 rows and that's 3 pattern repeats. So that just worked out that way. So if you choose this one, that means that I've built you in 6 days to, not do it at all, to catch up, to breathe, to finish early, to block your piece, whatever you want to do. So that is a really good option for if you aren't going to have a ton of time, because it is 159 stitches. The great thing about this though is it's rib on one side and on the back it's just purling, it's just straight. So it's totally something, all of these stitches are meant to be simple enough that they can be almost meditative, but at the very least they don't take a lot of brain power, they're just for you. So this is a great one if you really aren't going to have as much time and you need to just take it easy. The next one I love, and this is the one that I probably would have done if I was knitting, because well, first of all, I love a feather and fan, but this is a ripple version. It will take longer though because it is garter stitch. Garter stitch is a shorter stitch. So you need to work 7 rows, which isn't that much more, but you need to do that in 82 days, give or take. But then that builds you in then there's going to be these 6 rogue rows that you're going to have to catch up at some point, but there's 8 days that you can catch up. So there's a lot of wiggle room there. So yes, there are more rows, but there's also more wiggle room as well. And I've noted all of that. I also want to just note that this version will be wider, just a little bit, a couple inches wider, because it was an 18 stitch repeat. And so there just wasn't any way to get around that. So just FYI. Okay, so now let's talk crochet. So this is the version of crochet that will take a little more time. but it is the simplest. It is beautiful and easy. It's all half double crochets. It's just back loop or front loop. And again, all of these videos are posted in our group, but also you might notice that there's a little QR code. I've created a playlist. So the playlist is on YouTube, but you can also see it within our group. And I have these 4 videos there, but I will slowly start adding others that might be helpful in addition. So that is a place that you can always go. So this is the same QR code for all of the choices. And then I don't know how to stop the dinging, so I apologize. I really don't know. So this one is 288 rows total. And so I'm sorry, that is a lie. It is not stitches. It is 220 rows with the edgings if you do an edging. This one I think really benefits from side edgings. You don't need them top or bottom, but sides probably. So I'm counting those as 2 other rows. So just keep that in mind. So this one you actually would work over the course of the full 90 days, and you would just alternate. One day you would do 2 rows, the another day you would do 3 rows. If you want to double time, triple time, you do you, but that's how to spread it out. Yeah, as you go. And then the last one, this is the one if you have the least amount of time. And it's frankly the one that I'll be doing. It's the most realistic for me. I also tried to be a little symbolic with a lot of these, but this one is about openness. And so you really only have to do, let me see if I can remember. This is 84 days. You alternate between 1 row and 2 rows a day. That's because it's all done with double crochet stitches, clusters, or V-stitches. And so the height is really, is significantly taller than the other stitches. So if you're a crocheter and you really are going to be tough on time, what I hope for you is for this to not be a point of stress. If it's a point of stress, that's antithetical to what I hope you get out of it. And so if at any time you feel that way, like pause, take a minute, back out, rip it out, and start another one that's better for your life space. And if yours ends up only being a placemat or a table runner or just goes across your feet, like that's fine too. This is just about the process. Okay, so that is sort of it in a nutshell. If you have any questions, I will be, well, actually, let's start. We got through enough that I can take some questions now before we move on. I see that is it Karen? Karen, do you have a question? You can either feel free to.
Okay, thank you. So I haven't worked with this yarn. I did buy the Pearl Soho yarn.
Yes.
I've never worked with it before, and I'm probably going to do the ripple knitted pattern. I think I've decided that just now.
Okay.
So I guess my question is it better for this type of yarn to use wooden needle? Even though I'm going to have circular,
So
long
no,
circular.
it really
No?
isn't because of the cotton. It's grabby.
Okay. It's grabby. Okay, so this
because it's not like it doesn't have any rayon in it. So
okay.
I think that it's better with, I mean, I don't know that I would go full Addy Turbo, although you could. I would use either I would use some form of metal, but that's just my preference. I found that it slid a little bit better. But I will say, and I mentioned this in one of the videos too, about hooks. With this particular yarn, one of the things that gives it such a great drape is that it's got a ton of plies. So it's a lot of little threads. So really pointy needles, this isn't the time.
Okay.
You might find that it'll be frustrating.
Okay.
So I know I said maybe don't go Addy Turbo, and now I'm backpedaling on that. Maybe don't go rockets. Because
I use Chowgu, they're pretty pointy.
Yeah, like if you have just a little bit of a round, and look, try it out. You might be fine. For me, I was like, oh, I'm getting in the plies. So experiment with that. But yes, so this is, but it has a really lovely drape.
I like
it's really nice. And this pattern, the work is only on one row. Every other row of the 4 are knit. So this one looks hard, but it's not at all. So great. Yeah. Did that answer your question?
It does. Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you for being here. Shenandoah, you're next.
Yeah, so this might be a silly question. I do plan on doing the ripples, so I don't know if that affects anything either, but is the assumption that you have a 1 mood per day? So you would have 7 of one color?
Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you for bringing that up, Shenandoah. I had a note there and I did not look at my notes. Shocker. Okay, so how do you handle if you have more than one emotion a day, which most human beings do? There's a couple ways you can handle it. And again, it depends on which stitch pattern that you have. Like for me, like if I'm doing this one and there's only one row, like what I'm probably gonna do is focus on the one that really stands out. You know, like if it was mostly even keel, but then something big happened, like you get a job, somebody had a baby, or you get broken up with, or what, like something extreme that really hits you, I probably would choose that. If I'm doing one that has more repeats, has 6 or 7 repeats, that's easy, right? You can just stripe. You can use different, you can break it. If you are so over ends, have some side fringe. Who cares? You know, I did go over knitting in ends though. And I don't know that I did crochet in ends. I am giving you permission, even though a lot of people think it's a sin, to just knit in the ends or crochet in the ends for this. It is not going to be wearable. It'll be okay. Whatever's the least stressful for you. The other option is to, depending on what you're doing, with the crochet one, with this in particular, you can go tapestry crochet style and you can just stop in the middle of a row and then add a new color. Go for it. You could probably make that work with this. I just think it's going to be messy with the knitting. The knitting is going to be harder to do that with without you getting these big holes. So with that, I would suggest doing stripes or just choosing your primary emotion for what really stuck out with you for you in the day, the one that you really want to focus on and think about, and just do that whole chunk that way. Or if you come up with something different, do that too. But that would be my recommendation. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Is there let's see, let's see. Erica's saying wants to do a scarf, broken rib. So this is where I'm going to ask you all to do the math because I need you to do it because I don't have the bandwidth. And so that's why I put the gauge in there. So if you first of all, if you decide that you want a super wide, you want to make a bedspread or you want to do a scarf, and you're using a stitch pattern that is relatively easy. It's a little harder with this one because what I said with the 18 stitches. All you need to do is, I gave you a gauge, which is how many stitches per 4 inches. So what you would do is you would take the number, that gauge number, divide it by 4. That is your stitches per inch. And then you multiply that by the number that is the width that you want. So let's say that you wanted a 12-inch wide, like super scarf, and you were getting 4 stitches per inch, you would multiply 4 by 12, and then you would make sure that the multiples were close to what it says in the pattern. If it's not in the pattern, reach out and I'll tell you. But for the rib, it is a multiple of 2 plus 1, so that it's bookended with 2 knit stitches. So you would just round up or round down either way. Yeah, and so for all of them, that is how you will scale up and scale down. For if you are part of this Stitchwell Social Club, and I'll talk more about this later, there are going to be sort of bonus events, and one of those is a Q&A that's only about sizing based on yarn, like changing, adjusting a gauge. It's a great question that we got from a member some time ago, and I've been meaning to go live and talk about it. And so I will be doing that as part of Self-Care Summer, but that is within the Stitchwell Social Club. I'll talk about that in a minute. Hopefully that answered your question though. Oh, Jessica, that is exactly how I did all of this. Jessica's was talked about AI. For the first time ever, I used AI to check my math. I've been very open about my issues with math, and I ended up in a career that is very mathy. And I was blown away. I put it in and I put different things that I was talking about, and it laid everything out beautifully for me. And then it gave me different scenarios. And sometimes it even said, your math is good. And so I got a little validation from a robot. But yes, but as Jessica said, you can always you can go to OpenAI, that's the free one, and you can type in like, I have this stitch pattern and I want this piece, and it'll do it for you. For the broken rib, it's pretty much straight up just multiplication. So that one's easier. But if you're trying to break that into days, that's algebra. I never got there. So that is when I did figure it out, but it wasn't pretty. But it's much easier to ask the robots. So good idea. Oh, Nicole said that she did the math for an infinity scarf. Excellent. Okay, so this is another great time to bring up community. So I would love it if you would use the space. I know we're in Zoom now, but use the Moodring Make-Along space to be a community. So if you've come up with something, post it. If you have a tip, post it. If you don't know how to post, I will post a tutorial on how to post, but use it as if it were, I don't know, like a Facebook feed where you do your own post. And that goes for, as Nicole said, I did the math for an infinity scarf. Anybody interested? That's a great place to do that. You can also just message each other. You can direct message. You can direct message each other through the platform, which I love. It gives you that opportunity. If you go the step further and you actually fill out your profile, again, we're back to robots, but it will show you like who you have things in common with, if it makes you feel more comfortable. Really encourage you, if you're comfortable, to put a profile picture so that it is about community building. If you're not comfortable with it though, no worries, but please use it. So do that. And also, as we go along, share, like post your progress. That's where it's going to be fun, is seeing that. So do it your own post. I would love to see a feed, because everybody's are going to look different. You can either share what your colors mean or don't. Nobody's going to know. We've got 4 different patterns, a quadrillion different like variations of what yarns people are using. So please utilize this this space for community. I feel like I had one more. Let's see. Somebody's asking if they can do a completely different pattern than what's offered. Well, you do you. I'm just trying to give you, I was trying to give you, do the work for you. But if it doesn't resonate with you, absolutely, you're welcome here. Yeah, absolutely. I know there's something else and it will come back, but for now, let's, I don't know. I feel like, are we ready to get started? Are there any more questions before we? I'm not seeing any hands. Okay, I'm not seeing any hands, so I think we're good. Okay, so I was thinking we'd spend the next 30 minutes actually stitching. I'm probably going to keep talking because that's just what I do. But what I'd like to do, and you don't have to do it if you don't want to, like I said, take it or leave it, is I'd like to start with a little bit of grounding. I use, this is another sort of exercise that I use a lot with the kids that I talk to who are really anxiety ridden. And I also use it with my own family, and I also personally use it almost every day. It's really simple. It's called box breathing. And it's essentially because you think of it in a square. So you'll breathe in for 4, hold for 4, breathe out for 4, hold for 4. So I'm going to take us through a few of those. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. For me, I just want to start this going, I want to go into it and put the energy into this being a little more grounded than I would be like screeching in on 2 tires as I always am. Okay, so to start, you would just breathe in for 4, hold for 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe in, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 4, 3, 2, 1 more time. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Breathe out, 1, 2, 3, 4. And hold, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let it go. All right, let's do this. Let's start casting on, chaining on, doing all the things. If you don't know what color you want to start with, because it hasn't been a full day, and you don't know exactly how you felt all day and you're just not there yet, you didn't have your mood log, then I invite you to start with your joyful. Choose this as being the jumping off point for, a joyful experience, and go that realm. But absolutely start with whatever colors you are. And if anybody, as you guys are stitching, if anybody wants to take the time and share their yarn, like what they're choosing, what they're going to do, like sharing any of that, I personally would love to see it. I am, I got my bag. These are still available on my website. I put a link to it. It is a third-party company. I don't have anything to do. I just uploaded it. So it takes probably a week to ship, but they look pretty good. So I'm using the like super citrusy mid-century modern pattern palette that I put together and posted, and I am using, the Pearl Soho cotton chirp. And I am doing, oh, and I already said this, I'm going to do the crochet one. So if anybody else would like to go, great. But if not, no worries. Oh, I just realized I'm going to have to go in and fix it. It has the 2 peaceful. They're supposed to be powerful. I thought I fixed that. I did not. So powerful and then peaceful to get started. But if anybody else wants to show, that would be great. And then at the very end, we'll do those giveaways from Pearl Soho. So I'll talk about those at the end.
Sounds good. We've got a couple of questions.
Yeah.
Suggested circular needle length for the ripple knit version.
I would say at least 32 inches. The whole piece is going to be 38, so that'll give, it'll be a little smushed. You could go 32 or up, anything on up. In general, I would suggest that regardless of version, just because there's going to be fabric, it's not great for your wrists to hold on to that amount of fabric. So the more that you can have sort of sitting on your lap, the better.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed. I have Chogu interchangeables. So I actually pulled a 38-inch cord, and then I'm using the 5-inch tips. So, and
what do you make? Which one are you using? I'm sorry, I got distracted.
I'm doing the ripple.
By Malenka's comment. Malenka just talk, so I don't have to read. Ugh. Erica's chose Cascade Cherub. Oh, I don't know that one, Cherub DK. But Cascade's a solid, like that's a solid yarn. Cascade, Barocco. There's a lot of affordable, like really nice solid yarns. Cher's saying she arrived late. The pattern listed. Yes, the pattern.
I'll post it again.
It's in the chat, but also if you go to the group, I did a big old post that has the videos and everything along with it. Okay, did I get everybody? Malenka, I'm sorry, your yarn's en route. I know that.
I know. I dragged my feet deciding what I wanted to get.
What'd you end up doing?
I don't know. I have to pull out my order now. I did order the yarn, from Pearl Soho, the chirp, but I don't know. I picked 6 colors, 7 colors, and I'll know tomorrow I'll remember tomorrow when it gets here.
Did you do your own palette or did you use one of?
I did. I think a couple of the colors overlap, but yeah, I just I went with
Great.
what felt good.
And
so I'm actually piecing together a giant granny square blanket that I can't remember if I mentioned it before. But yeah, a friend of mine, his mother passed away last year, and this is a whole bag of granny square smoke. They're mostly in strips of a blanket
Oh,
she didn't get
wow.
to finish. So he doesn't crochet, so I'm piecing it together.
Good for you.
And
You have been
in
on a
between.
blanket journey for a long time.
It's my life. Apparently that's my jam.
But this is a wrapkin. So
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
the other reason I chose this is like, I personally am probably not going to make a blanket. Like, it's just not going to fit into my life. It's not going to.
Yeah.
And so this is sort of a really wide. I wanted it to be wide, big enough that if you needed to like do that or throw it over your knees, but also not just, I wanted more than just a wrap. And plus it's like, because of the time frame, I also didn't want to do it for a year. Because honestly, I don't want to do most things.
No, that's fair. I do love the reinvented top with the flowers from Clover's Banquet.
Oh, well, thank you. So this is thematic for me. So what my Linka is referring to is this sweater. I can't find my own palettes. Oh, there they are. I had to see my own palette so I knew what to start with. Okay. This sweater is my design. It is it's called Cropped. It's a pullover. It was like, I used to have this yarn line, Montoya Merino from Yarnier. Made it, loved it, all the things. I pulled it out and it was completely like moth hole ridden. And so that's sucks, obviously. And instead of repairing it would have been near impossible to make it look right. But instead of trying to do something that didn't draw attention to it, I decided to go the other way. And I thought that it was a good sort of allegory for this is that we have to give ourselves our own flowers. We have to find beauty where we can find it. So I sewed these flowers on because these matched the costume that I made for my youngest for their theater banquet costume. And so I sewed that. And then there's a little bit, this yarn right here is from the Knit Collage Knit Along. It's one of the ribbon yarns because this was all eaten too. I just whip stitched it. So yeah, that's why I'm wearing it. I thought it worked. Alrighty. Are there any other questions before we?
I do not have a question, but hi, this is Nikki.
Hi.
Hey, everyone.
Been a minute. So good to see you.
I love that this is a separate app because the last thing I need to do is be on Instagram or
Nikki,
TikTok or anything. I love the intention.
Why have you not come to Stitchwell then?
I know, I'm there now. I'm on my way.
Okay.
I have been on a major hiatus from being creative, very stifled from all of it, with excess work and children and things, and on a journey back. And this is like the best thing. I'm so excited when I saw it pop up because obviously big fan of yours, following you forever and participating in things. So this was the time. This was what I needed. I love that there were so many options that were planned because that's where I find I love to follow patterns and I love to make things, but I don't take as much joy in having to select all of the components. So when there are pre-formatted palettes, that was really, really helpful for me because I don't think it's an area that maybe it's that I don't enjoy. I wouldn't say, oh, I'm not good at it. I just don't really enjoy it that much. So it's so nice to see ideas put together. So I chose your palette one. I think it's the one you already just showed. And I am making a little swatch for myself because I'm very much a mobile crafter. And instead of I'm also like 100 years old. I have to print everything out. I'm a paper person. I know it's bad press. But because I am always mobile, I wanted to make this so that I could tag each row with my moods.
Oh, that's a great idea.
So that way I have just a little swatch that I can put in my yarn bag with the few skeins that I will have, those 6 skeins or those 6 colors. And I thought that would be an easier way for me to follow along so that I can track it. But I'm so excited about this and to meet all of you and talk to you about what you're doing in your projects. And it's so
I'm
refreshing.
so happy to see you here. There are a few people from Yarnia that I have not been able to get over here, and I felt the hole. Like I'm like, there's some people that just should be here. So let me just take that opportunity to talk a little bit about that. And I also had something else I wanted to talk about that you reminded me of, and now I've lost that too. Oh, the cross section of ADHD and menopause is bullshit. I just want to tell you all, but I digress.
So much fun.
And in related news, my therapist said to me last week, and yes, this is what we're doing. Like, I'm going to be with boundaries, very honest, and I invite you to be if you choose to, but you don't have to. Last week, my therapist literally said to me, have you thought about logging your moods? And I was like, funny you should say that. So I thought that was really funny. So there will be events throughout this whole, 90 days in the free version. Absolutely. We're going to have more of these meetups, not every week, probably every 2 to 3 weeks. I'm going to sort of spread them out. I will be available for Q&A. I will also be available for an office hour or two if you want to jump in. Another thing that's really great about this platform is that I can just post when I'm ready and you can see if the event's live and you can click right through. So I'll make myself available for that. I will have a schedule. I'm aiming for tomorrow, but definitely by the weekend, a loose outline of what we have planned. There'll be more giveaways. We're going to do some, there'll be some more sort of related things to mental health. There'll be some posts and that kind of thing. But there'll be a lot of room for pop-up stuff because I don't know what's going to come up. This is something I have never led a knit along, crochet along on my own before in 20 years. It's always been for a big company where it was all planned out. So this is new. And what was also new, which I started to say at the beginning, and squirrel, what's also new, well, I thought that I didn't know how this would be received because of what it is. Because it's like, oh, we have to talk about our feelings. No, you do not. I see Becky Joyner here. No, you do not have to talk about your feelings. But so I didn't know how it was going to be received. And as of the time of starting this live video, there are 454 people here, which is double the amount of members for like Stitchwell Social Club. And so what that tells me, I was really surprised because I've spent a lot of time maybe not being as open about mental health issues and about, no, I won't even say that because you have to keep some stuff for yourself. I was really surprised that something that I thought was important but seemed a little weird. I'm a little weird, and so I feel like a lot of times my ideas are a little weird. I was so pleasantly surprised to see how many people join, but it also speaks so loudly to where everybody is at right now. This is a tough time for 7,000 reasons, and so I feel really lucky to have you all here. I feel really lucky. So, and all emotions I have come out as tears, all of them. So
Me too.
welcome. I feel really happy to have you in this space. I ask you to be kind to one another. If there's something that isn't working out or you're frustrated, or I don't think there'll be errata, but there might be. If something happens, I'd ask you to message me or email me at info@vickihowell.com instead of posting, because what happens when there's anything, not questions, but if there's if there's anything super negative, people tend to jump on it and it changes the whole spirit. And I don't think that that's what this is. So I'm not asking you to, thank you, Malinka, for being Teen Tears. I'm not asking you to not like have your feelings, but if it's something, if it's criticism, I would love it if you would bring it to me directly, and then we can go from there. And then I can use it as a teaching moment for the entire group. So that's the one thing. So I'm really happy to have you here. So there'll be those events. So, but in addition, there are going to be half of you are paid Stitchwell members. So just to talk a little bit about that. So it's $12 a month, unless you're Stitchwell Council, and we don't even need to talk about that right now. And what's included in that is, I promise I'm going to bring it back to what this is, but what's included with that is access to, right now, because I haven't had a chance, there's about 55, but it'll probably double patterns that are for pay elsewhere, but they're free to members. All in all, right now, there's over 100 pieces of content. So it might be full e-courses, it might be recordings of one and done workshops. I do these one and done workshops where it's like you go in, you learn a thing, you make a thing, you're done. It might be presentations. I love doing these theme presentations. For the summer, we took a minute and we're just doing one broad theme, which is self-care. So we're having self-care summer in Stitchwell Social Club. But when we're not doing that, I usually pick a theme. It's usually some obscure aesthetic because I'm a fashion nerd too. And I put these presentations together and I talk about it and then I distill it down through a knitter and crocheter's eye. And then I talk about like actual applicable skills. So for example, Rococo, which is this like exuberant theme, we distilled it down to knitting with beads and pearls and learning how to knit and crochet with ruffles. So that kind of thing. So that's one of the things. There's also, you get 10% off from Jimmy Bean's Wool. They don't give discounts to anyone. Laura Zander's a friend, the owner, well, now not the owner, but the owner, and did me a solid for that. So members get that off of anything. There's a bunch of other perks. And then it's really community driven. So we're doing a ton of events as well. And also there are weekly meetups, handicraft happy hours every Friday at 4 p.m. Central. They're almost always hosted by me. If they're not, it's because I can't be there, but we pass it off to a community member. There's a lot of community involvement. Anytime somebody says they have a skill or they have a thing, we talk about how can we incorporate it because we're growing this together. And it's something that I'm really excited about. And because of that, because it's behind a little bit of a paywall, like I said, people value it and they're respectful. And I think Christina, who's here, one of the members, I wrote it down somewhere, but who knows, had shared with us in the beginning. We've only been here around since February, so we're still babies, but said that this was the most sort of like respectful and kind community that she'd ever been a part of. And that's like, that matters to me. So that's all part of it. And then I recently started a ADHD group within the group, a neurodivergent knitters group, because I was floored. So I was late diagnosed at 51. I am 51 and a half, like so new. And it sideswiped me. No idea. And I'm like, consider myself super self-aware and all those things. So I did this episode on a podcast called ADHD for Smartass Women, written by this woman, Tracy Atsuka, that really helped me. I came on to talk about my own story, but also to talk about the mental and neurological benefits of knitting and crochet. I needed some talking points for that from the neurological standpoint. And so one of our community members, Nicole, I think might be here, but I'm not sure. I can't see everybody, is a neurologist. And so I could tap into that resource, get those talking points and use that there. So when that episode aired and I shared it, I was floored at how many women just within the Stitchwell Social Club group, like, so it's this microcosm, said, me too, or I recognize that, or I didn't know, or so many so that I had to shut it down during a handicraft happy hour because I didn't want to make it about that for the people that didn't care about it. So we had our own meetup, and it was raw and candid and so informative and validating. And it made me realize that this is a space that we could probably use. So there's also a group, it's an opt-in only group within, and it's a safe space where we're sharing resources all the time. We're swapping stories. We have another meetup set coming up here. I think it's next week. It's just another way for us to be a resource for one another. So these are just some of the things. There's a lot more. To get back on topic, and I'm going to go over, if you have to tap out, please tap out. It will not hurt my feelings. Some of the other things specifically for self-care summer. So there's these weekly meetups on Fridays. There are going to be several different events. So we've already started. We're all posting just personal self-care stuff we do. So it might be a meditation video. It might be a yoga video. It might be a workout thing. It might be a color book. It might be whatever it is. And we're sharing those resources. We had another community. Oh, Kelly, I see you. You should join. Kelly said almost 57, just finding out. Like we had somebody in their 70s. Like we are starting to be seen. Women in healthcare are being erased right now. That's fact. And women in general were not a part of the tests for most neurodivergent test studies. And so we are now being vocal about it, and we are each other's resource. So I see you. Please be there for you. So another community member, we are doing all of these events. And one is, we did self-care, tarot for self-care for funsies, because we had Miss Kristen, who you've already met, has been doing tarot for 30 years. And so as a community member, came in and did a session for us. So participatory. And she's going to do another one. She did a 1-card pull one we're going to do in August. I'll tell you the date. I have one. I'm going to float it by you.
Okay.
I think it's in August. I have to look at the calendar. Going to do a 3-card one. We are, so then there's the ADHD group that's happening. I did a meditative stitches video already with written out tutorial. That's up there. Next month, we are having Laverne from Busy Peach is coming into the group to show us her softest and silkiest yarns for care. Because there's so much about the comfort. It's not just about the rhythm. It's about sometimes like that tactile aspect of it. So she's coming in to show us that. She's going to do a little giveaway. So that'll be a special feature. We're also having the editor-in-chief of the UK-based magazine, Knitting Magazine, is coming in, Christine Bogus. She's going to come in and show us what will be the latest the latest issue then, and talk to us about summer knits for keeping us cool and that kind of thing. So there's going to be, and that's just part of it. So there'll be additional self-care events happening within that. So consider it. You'd also be supporting an independent designer during these times, and that is much appreciated. So that's that. And we'll put links to that as well. You can actually just log in and add it, but if you don't know how to do that, I'll just give you a link. And then the other thing that I wanted to talk about without using too much of your time, and if you have questions, please just let me know. One more thing I wanted to tell you, I am doing a virtual retreat. It's very intimate. I'm trying to keep it to only about 30-ish people so that we can actually talk to each other and that kind of thing. It is called a Stitcher's Self-Care Retreat. It's virtual. It's a mini retreat. It's only 6 hours. It's happening at the end of August. It's going to be sort of one of our cappers. There are only 19 spaces left because I opened it to Stitchwell Council first, and then I opened it to our group first. It includes a bunch of stuff, but we are going to, you get this really cute kit that includes the box breathing. There's a sticker of it. There is a there is a ball of yarn, witch hazel yarn from Pearl Soho that's really soft and fluffy. And we're going to be making spa washcloths that are just an easy win, like just something soft and fun. But while we're doing that, I'm going to be showing you a handful of tips for knitting and crochet to make your knitting and crochet life easier. So we're going to go on with the theme of that. We have the author of Yoga of Yarn that is all about self-exploration through knitting, which can apply to crochet as well. She's coming in, Liza Laird, she's coming in for part of it. I can't remember what else, it's all listed, but it's going to be a really lovely day. It's kind of a mini vacay. You come in, it's 6 hours, you shut the door, it's just for us. I suggest that you end it with rosé and rest, but you know, you do what you got to do. I think it's going to be really, really nice. So there should be a link. I'm going to post a link in the group. There should be a link in the chat right now. Like I said, there are only about 19 spots left. We just launched it a couple days ago. I do want to point out, if you are an iOS user, and this goes for your membership too, if you're an Apple user, purchase it on a computer and not an iPad or an iPhone, and it will be cheaper. Apple adds a ton of fees for taxes and other fees if you buy it through their shop or if you'll see a different price if you are on your phone than if you go on your computer. For our membership, our monthly membership, you'll see that it's $12.99. It's $12 if you go on, just use a computer. For the retreat, it adds $10 to it. So, but that doesn't mean that you can't ever use your mobile device after. It's just for the paying part. If you want to use your mobile device later after you've purchased it, it makes life really easy. You just download the Mighty Network app, and I'm sure I'm not the like a lot of people are using this platform now. It's really great. I wish I had known about it years ago. It's got everything that I want right in one place, and you don't have to go to this place and that place and this place. Everything's right in one place. So you can still use the Mighty Network app. You just search Stitchwell Social Club. It'll come up. You can set notifications if you want, so you know every time that something's coming up, so you don't have to think about, oh, I have to log into another thing. And you can also choose to not be notified at all. Like, it's absolutely up to you. But that's another thing, another resource. So I think that's it. Other than the giveaways, I did not get very far. I would love to see a few more people's yarn. And then I promise I'll give some stuff away. Alyssa, why don't you show us? And I'm going to grab something else.
I'm using the cotton chirp that Vicky chose. So similar color palette as hers. I have them here.
Which one are you using?
These, I'm going to do the ripple stitch.
Oh, good. That was my other choice, but I don't have time. So, you're going to do it in my color. Excellent.
Yeah, super excited about it.
Love it. Love it. I would love to see what are some of the other yarns that are cotton chirp, but some people have gotten really creative, which I dig. What is it? Crystal, what are you using? You're muted. How are your migraines? Are you doing better?
Yeah, my thyroid medication is on track now, so my brain's feeling better.
I'm so glad. That is a brutal situation with thyroid.
I just needed to bump the dosage up and back on track.
Yeah, you and I can message me if you want. We can talk thyroid stuff too, because that's another yay.
So I'm using and I might be mispronouncing it, and I've used this before on other projects, but it's the Mila Mia yarn.
Nice.
Yeah. Webb's had a really great sale on it. So I got as many clearance balls of yarn as I could.
Oh, great. Well, that's great. And another thing is if you don't have all your yarn yet, I probably should have said this in the beginning, but I didn't really realize it until recently. It probably would have been a good idea to buy your first half first and then see if you notice trends so that you could get more of one than the other. It wouldn't, for cotton chirp, it wouldn't matter because they've already ordered all the yarns. So the lots, it wouldn't be a difference, but it might matter for other yarns. Like it might be a lot different. So it's a slippery slope, but it's impossible to know how much of any yarn that you're going to need because I don't know if you are somebody that has 17 peaceful days and only 1 day of rage. Like I don't know that. So there's going to be a little bit. So keep your receipts if you need to, or just put it back in the stash. If you are going to use the cotton chirp, I would really appreciate it if you used my affiliate link. I've posted that in our group as well. This whole thing is free and I'm happy to do it, but that gives just a little, I get a little bit of a royalty on that. Anybody else want to share?
Can I
Oh,
share?
Brenda, wait. I saw a hand. I'm sorry.
Hi. So
You're
I have
so polite and I missed the politeness.
so I have a bunch of this 24/7 cotton that I'm going to use because I had a bunch of it. And
Is that the Lion brand?
yes, I don't know if you can.
My neighbor's going to use the same. My neighbor's going to use the same. That's perfect. I think that's great. Yeah. I mean, you can really only get it. That's an RIP Joanne situation, right? I don't think they have it at Michael's, but yeah, you're using that. That's great. That's great. Anybody else?
Can I share, Margaret?
Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
So I have some from Pearl Soho. It's called Plein Air.
Do you want to? It's called Plein Air. And you want to know how I know that?
How?
Because I'm currently designing some knitwear for Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. The district is putting on a musical. I'm designing Charlie's knitwear in that yarn. So
it's beautiful. I never tried it. So
I
these
love
are
it.
these are my colors. I'm sitting here winding yarn.
People know, and this is another thing, it's Pearl Soho also, so same thing. It's really nice because I think I talked about this on a happy hour, but I really like the texture from a 2-ply. Like it kind of has just enough texture, but it's 33% organically grown cotton and then the rest is wool. So it's kind of like lofty and light, but the drape is a little bit different, and it's a little bit cooler. I really like it a lot. So recommend checking that out for sure. So Kellyanne, yes, we did talk about projects. This video, I'm going to try and get it up tonight, but sometimes when they're long, it takes forever to upload. So you'll be able to get all of that, but it's also posted in the group, in the Make Along group, videos, everything. So you should have everything. Did anybody else want to share?
I'll share.
Okay.
I put a little note. Hi, I'm Julie. First time doing anything with you. So I'm excited.
Nice to meet you.
I'm doing the paint box yarns and I've never done, I really love acrylic. And so cotton is a little different, but I like the weight of it right now. So,
yeah.
And I put in the note that, I've told my therapist, my psychiatrist, and my nutritionist about this project and how I hope it lets me pause a little bit because life is crazy.
I love it.
So I appreciate you putting this out there.
Thank you for being here. Thank you for being here. Yeah, Mona said that she's also using Lovecraft's paint box. That's a good choice. I don't think I've ever used it, but they have, as the name infers, a quadrillion colors, and I saw it float by. I saw a message somewhere that somebody's doing all neon colors. Love. I would love to see it. Monique, are you talking or am I just seeing your photo pop up?
I'm so sorry about that.
No worries. Do you want to talk? No? Okay. And no. Anybody?
Sorry, something. I'm cooking dinner, but I'm here in spirit.
I feel you. All right. Is there anybody else?
I actually just had a question because we were talking about yarn.
Yeah.
What was the reasoning with choosing a pure cotton yarn for these projects?
When I started, so the real reason is because I knew I wanted to do this, but I didn't get it together. I didn't really formulate when it was going to be until later, and I realized it was going to be in the middle of summer. And I live in Texas, and so I wanted I wanted a mostly cotton. I was looking at blends and then just serendipitously through the article that I write for Knitting Magazine and something that I was working on, I got sort of like hooked up with Pearl Soho, which is like one of my favorite companies, and they had this yarn, and they were just launching the big balls. At that time, they only had these minis, and they were about to do this launch. So it just sort of came around, and I really wanted it to be washable. They say you could put it in the dryer. I probably would not, except for maybe to fluff it. But I wanted to be a machine washable, so that was the other reason. But you could use whatever you want. It just might drape a little differently. Okay. Anybody else? All right, I am going to give a few things away completely at random. The first thing is it's so soft and gorgeous. It's called Season Alpaca. It's 100% super baby alpaca. It is delightful, like an absolute delight. So I have one hank of this donated by Pearl Soho. It's cobalt turquoise. Is it turquoise? Cobalt for sure. And that is going to go to the first name that I saw when I looked down, Jenny DeForest. If you will message me, you can put it in you can message me through the group because you can DM me. DM me your address and I will get it to you. Jenny DeForest. Krista, would you mind writing that down for me? Jenny DeForest is getting the Season Alpaca. The next thing that I am giving away is Pearl Soho Note. It is 80% extra fine merino. The fiber just stuck to my lip gloss. And 20% baby alpaca. This is another really beautiful one. And there's really saturated, lovely colors. And the next name that I just saw, Erica S. You are the winner of Note. So please message me, DM me in the group, because I don't know if I'll get all the chats. Sometimes it downloads, sometimes it doesn't. So just DM me directly with your address and we'll get that out. And then lastly, I would like to give away a signed copy of my book, The Knit Vibe. The entire, this book, frankly, bombed, but it's my favorite one that I've written. And
I literally just bought it last week, by the way.
Oh, thank you for doing that.
Yeah.
This is the most like me of me books that I've done, and the publisher considers it a bomb. It did come out right before COVID, so that might have had something to do with it, but a lot of it is because it's different. So there is yoga for knitters in there, there's astrology, there's a deep dive into Catholicism and Judaism. There's a lot of interviews with designers. There's projects, of course. There are features on really interesting people. This was a really like joyous project for me to do. So I would love to give away a signed copy. If you already have it, apologies. Anna Quinn, signed copy. So please message me. We will be giving away prizes throughout.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Please message me.
I will.
I love a giveaway. I love to give things. So we will be doing things all throughout. I have a bunch of Wool in the Gang, Softy Soft stuff that I'll be giving away throughout. So this isn't the only chance. And then everybody who sticks with it, and when I mean stick with it, I don't mean you finished. I mean, like you're still showing up. You show up all throughout it. You will be entered to win a huge, like the bundles of, it might be my favorite of their, well, it's my favorite fingering weight, which yarn, it's their linen quill. It's Pearl Soho linen quill. And they put together these bundles of 20 that are stunning. And they're giving the choice between, there's like an earthy tone and like a neon-y pop tone version. So you'll be eligible whether you come to these or don't. If you stick around and post and, hangout, you will be entered to win, but that's going to be at the end. Oh, another thing that we will be doing, and again, I will post this schedule over the next couple days. I will, towards the end, I'll do, we'll talk blocking. We'll probably do one about blocking. The crochet ones, especially the half double crochet one, really does better with an edging. So I'll make sure to add an edging video to the playlist. It is not included. It's included in the instructions, but not the video. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. I feel really honored that you would let me have this space in your life. I know how valuable time is. I saw a hand go up, but now I don't know where it is. It flew by.
Rhonda.
Rhonda, yes. Where are you? Oh, you're muted.
Let's see. Where are you, Rhonda? Let me find you. And
She just waved it off.
Okay. Well, okay. Okay, cool. If you want to put it in the comment section, if your mic's not working or not. So I think that's a wrap. Again, post. If you want to post every day, post every day. If you want to post once, post once. Would love to see your progress. I would love for you to share anything that has to do with moods and mental health or anything that inspires you. Please, this is your time, this is your space. Please utilize it. And I'm really looking forward to the next few months of hanging out and seeing how these come together. Thank you for being a part of this little experiment. And I really do hope that some of you will come on over to Stitchwell Social Club and be a part of this next chapter for all of us. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you,
For
everyone.
those that had questions about how to join the Stitchwell Social Club, go to VickiHowell.com.
That's true. You can just do that and then click on it and it'll walk you through it there. If you are already members of this group though, but you know what, just do that. That's fine. You can do that. You can do that if you're already in the Moodring meet along though. You can actually just go to your profile and you can drop down and add it too. But whatever you need to do, and you can always just message me if you have questions, because technology has been failing me a lot lately, so much. And so if there's issues, first of all, I'm sorry that it takes up that time. But second of all, please don't hesitate. It is me doing this. I miss having help so much. And so sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So I'm here for you. All right, everyone. Well, have a good night or day or whatever.
Bye. Thank you.
See you soon.
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.